This is a training video on Title Toolbox. We're going to discuss here on this video you working with CoreFact customers for their print marketing website, and then also how that works with Title Toolbox, a property data website. The two websites are connected. There's different APIs that connect and move data back and forth between the two websites. So we're going to discuss that today and kind of how to work on that. Here we're going to go into the farming section for anybody. You can do this whether it's radius or boundary searches, however it is you want to do it, but we're going to develop a farm very quickly. So I'm going to click on the map and say this is the area that our customer here wants to be able to farm. Select next. We'll gather up the number of properties and then we'll move them into CoreFact. So for this search, 1,048 properties showed up. From there, we have the ability to go, okay, I look at the properties, evaluate the properties, dynamic stats. We know all of that. We've discussed that on other videos. Now we want to move the records into CoreFact. So we've decided that these are the properties we want to market to. We can now click on third-party export. This window will open. And what we're going to put in here is the password, the login or email address, and also the password that the customer uses to log into the CoreFact website. So not their credentials for Title Toolbox, but their credentials for CoreFact. Upon entering them, click Go. It will log them into the CoreFact website. It will now display the number of farms that they have on the CoreFact website, so they can see these. So if they wanted to add these 1,000 records to one of their current farms, they can, or they can name it something new. Like in this case, it's in Santa Barbara, so I'm going to say it's the Santa Barbara farm, and I can click Submit, and it will now map the records and move the records into the CoreFact website. I don't need to export a CSV. I don't need to import a CSV, or in other words, an Excel spreadsheet. All I have to do is click that Submit button. It will move the records directly into the CoreFact website. So that's just taking a farm, moving it to CoreFact. Now let's say that we're working with a customer that has a farm already saved on CoreFact. It's been there, they've been mailing to it for a while. Maybe they like the turnover, the response rate that they're getting, and maybe they don't. And so the question I'd ask a customer that has a farm that they're currently mailing to at CoreFact is, how's it going? What's the response rate like? Are you getting listings out of the area? Next question, do you know the turnover rate? What's the turnover rate of the people that you're mailing to, the farms that you're mailing to? If they don't know the answer to that question, we're going to come over here and mouse over this button here, and you'll notice that cloud pops up. So we're going to click on that. I've already, as part of this video we're doing, I've already authenticated myself, because if you haven't, it'll ask you to enter in the login credentials for the CoreFact website. Now that I'm here, I can go here to download, and now I can grab one of those farms on the CoreFact website, whatever it is. So let's say that I want to look at the Santa Barbara farm or the Roseville farm. I'm going to say I want the Roseville farm. Click on Submit, and what it's going to do now is grab the records off of the CoreFact website and deposit them into my Title Toolbox account. And you'll notice that that has occurred. From here now we can evaluate what that farm looks like. So we'll move over back to farming now that we've downloaded it. We're going to go down to our saved farms. Within our saved farms, click the refresh button on the right hand side to refresh our list. And there now is our Roseville farm that was downloaded from CoreFact. So Roseville farm hyphen CoreFact, 272 properties. From there, click on select. And now we'll be looking at the list of farms. There we go. And there is our Roseville farm downloaded from CoreFact. So the button to hit then would be Dynamic Stats. Dynamic Stats is going to count up the number of properties and tell us what the turnover rate is for the Roseville farm. So if they weren't happy with the responses they were getting potentially, or were very happy, it doesn't matter. The turnover rate for that farm is 3.68%. Most real estate coaches are going to say find 7% or higher. So now do we use the statistics button with them? We can, if that's something that we want to do, but we've now provided them what the turnover rate is within the farm that they have on CoreFact. Okay, so valuable tools to be able to do something like that. To take it a step further, we can now go back to that cloud. If they want to keep that farm, keep working with it, the next question, ask them, when was the last time that they updated the records on their CoreFact farm? Keep in mind that if they put that farm or created that farm on CoreFact by uploading a spreadsheet, to re-upload the spreadsheet has them lose all of their information, all of the flags and the tracking that Corefact does on that farm. So what this allows us to do now is to be able to update records. So I can go back to that exact same farm here, and let's look for our, was it Roseville Farm, right? Roseville Farm, and click Submit. And now what we're doing is we're updating the Roseville Farm that's already on the Corefact website, and we're uploading based on property changes, changes in ownership, changes in mailing addresses. We're going to upload that information and change it to the Corefact site, and you'll notice that it found one record out of 272 that we needed to update. And so that has now been updated on the Corefact site automatically. It took seconds. You saw how fast it was. Very quick and very easy ways to be able to update farms. The last button that we have over there in the cloud is the ability to sync farms. So if I was doing farm management within Title Toolbox, let's say deleting records off that transferred and that sort of thing, I can now go in between these different sites and say, okay, on that Roseville farm, I want to sync them. In other words, I've deleted some records off on the Title Toolbox side. I want to make the list match on the Corefact website. And so it's now synchronized the records as well. So both lists now will have the exact same number of properties as well. So hopefully this helps you guys. Anybody working with Corefact has to have a Title Toolbox website. It's a have to. For the reasons we just showed. To move records into their site, it takes seconds. To sync records, update records, evaluate the properties for turnover rate, it takes seconds to be able to do. If you have any questions, please contact our service department, and we can help you with this process as well. Thank you.